Ladies and gentlemen, we are live!
I'm Jerry.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Tom.
It's time!
Live from the CSB studios in Westbury, New York,
It's the Tom and Jerry Sports Show.
featuring co-host Kevin Dolan and the host that's been here since day one, Jerry Napoleonello.
On Zeno Radio and
on All Noise Radio.
Tom and Jerry Sports Show live on Zeno Radio. I'm Jerry Napoleonello. Thanks for deciding to spend your afternoon with us. Got a lot to talk about today. Yesterday was Selection Sunday. March Madness is here. Last week started the NFL new year, and a lot of free agents have their new home. The number to call, 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live. But first, we're going to start off with the NFL free agency of 2016. And there was a lot of things happening, especially the first day. A lot of stuff happened the day before free agency leading into the day of, because we obviously know you can come to an agreement, but everything's not official until the new year. So, a lot of agreements were made. I'll get into a lot of the big names that went. I'm going to talk about the winners and losers. I think that we had in the NFL with the free agency. Lately we've had small moves that have gone down. Today we heard that Eric Weddle will be signing with the Baltimore Ravens. We also heard that B.J. Raji is actually going to retire. Another young NFL player that'll be retiring, at a young age. But going into free agency, we had, somewhat big names. You had big names like, Brock Osweiler. What he was going to do. Was he going to go back to Denver? Was he going to go somewhere else? The two teams that really came out for Brock Osweiler were obviously the Denver Broncos and then the Houston Texans. And a lot of speculation was going around with Brock Osweiler about, maybe he was a little, lack of a better word, like salty towards the Denver Broncos because of the benching of himself, being benched for Peyton Manning towards the end of the season and, moving on after that. But other than that, in a way, obviously I'm going to come out and say Brock Osweiler, obviously, if you haven't heard, signed a pretty decent contract with the Houston Texans for a guy that's played, I think he's played maybe 7 games or so. He got 4 years, $72 million, and half of the contract is guaranteed. Don't get me wrong, Houston's a decent team. They needed a quarterback. That was their problem. Brian Hoyer wasn't cutting it. Even Ryan Mallett wasn't cutting it for them. They have a solid defense. Not as solid as the Denver Broncos have, but, it was surprising in a way because, Brock Osweiler could have been, really contending for Super Bowls for the next couple of years. With the Denver Broncos, offense and defense. They have a very good offense. It looks like they're going to be losing C.J. Anderson. I don't know if he's signed definitely yet, but I have to put it up there that Houston came out and gave him a decent contract. It's kind of hard for him to turn that down. I believe he didn't really, the Houston Texans didn't really go over the Denver Broncos contract by a lot. But Brock Osweiler signs with the Houston Texans along with Lamar Miller, another great free agent acquisition for Houston. Now, obviously they released they released Arian Foster, rightfully so. I mean, the guy could not stay healthy. He's constantly hurt. And just recently with the injuries that he's had, you don't want to keep it going. And they obviously have gotten a better running back as of right now. I mean, Arian Foster healthy before the last couple of years when he's gotten hurt, but this guy was one of the best in the league at the time. Lamar Miller is a very good running back. You have to see what he does by getting the ball. I mean, in Miami, he wasn't given the ball a lot, and he still, I think he averaged maybe 4.5 yards per carry. So I mean, for a guy like that's a number one back. Those are good numbers. Those are really good numbers. The Dallas Cowboys were in on Lamar Miller, but the Cowboys always have come out and said that they don't want to pay that much money for a running back. They don't want to pay over $6 million per year for a running back, and rightfully so. I mean, they're constantly getting hurt. I mean, if you look at running backs that are out there, I mean, how many haven't gotten hurt in a big way? It's tough to say. I think they're going to stick with Darren McFadden. Maybe draft, a running back in the draft. Guys like Ezekiel Elliott, Derrick Henry. You could see with the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, a lot of running backs do want to play with the Dallas Cowboys. That's why it kind of surprised me that Lamar Miller picked the Houston Texans over the Dallas Cowboys because of the Dallas Cowboys front line. I mean, who wouldn't want to run behind that line? Who wouldn't? But I mean, I'm going to go into more of the NFL free agents, signings and everything like that. The New York Giants really came out and stepped it up, and they filled the needs that they needed to. Before I even keep going with that, I wanted to say a quick shout out to my girlfriend. Happy anniversary! It's our 2 years. So I just wanted to say happy anniversary, Nicole. I love you. But going on to the New York Giants, we got to keep going with the Giants. The Giants have, been unbelievable in free agency. They had the money, they spent the money so far. I mean, I don't know if they're going to have anything going down, in the next couple of days or so. But they re-signed Jason Pierre-Paul to a 1-year deal. I still think it's a little crazy of a deal. But that's kind of what I think. But he got I think 10.5 for a year. It's a little crazy to me. But they also signed Janoris Jenkins. They signed Damon Snacks Harrison from the Jets. Then their big signing obviously was Olivier Vernon. He got the highest contract for a defensive end, in NFL history, especially with guaranteed money. He's getting, I think, $1 million or $2 million over J.J. Watt's guaranteed money. So, Houston's got to be jumping up and down with the contract that they gave J.J. Watt because of how much better he is than Olivier Vernon. And Olivier Vernon's getting this kind of money. So, Houston's got to be happy with that, aspect of their contract with J.J. Watt. But the Giants, again, I said the Giants came out and they filled the needs that they needed to. They desperately needed a pass rush, and signing back JPP. You still don't know what you're going to get from JPP because of that club. The club is a little... what can you say about the club? He has trouble, tackling with it, and that's why I think it's a little crazy that they gave him $10.5 million over a year. Obviously, a year contract is nice. That's what you want to do for a guy like that. But in my opinion, I think it's a little high. And from what I heard, I don't know if it's true, but I think the Cowboys were in on JPP and gave him a high contract, and he decided to go to the Giants. So, I mean, I'm happy about it because I don't want JPP. I really don't. Obviously, for the reasons that I'm saying. I mean, the guy can't tackle. Single-arm tackling with him, especially with that hand, he can't tackle. He can't bring anybody down. So, in my mind, I think it's good that the Cowboys, didn't get him, and he went back to the Giants. But the other thing that I laughed about was, Janoris Jenkins, that contract that they gave Janoris Jenkins. He's a good cornerback, don't get me wrong. He's one of the gamblers, likes to make a big play, but he also gives up big plays because of that fact. So they needed a cornerback, obviously, because they were losing Prince Amukamara, which, in my mind, Prince is better than Janoris Jenkins. It's just Prince is always hurt. So, you can't fault them on that. You want to go for, Janoris Jenkins is young too. I think he's been in the league 3 or 4 years. So he's young. It's a good move. It is. They need it. It's a good move. But I just think the contract that he got was a little high. I think he got $62 million. A little high. But again, I'm happy about it. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys, you look at the game that they played against the Rams with Dez Bryant, I think it was 2 years ago. Dez Bryant running a post route, really, on Janoris Jenkins and totally had him turned around. And, I mean, Dez was wide open. So, you're going to see – so Janoris Jenkins is going to see Dez Bryant twice a year now. And I'm happy about that. But, moving on, I mean, Damon Harrison was a big move for them. They needed to run stuff up the middle as well to go along with Hankins. But, Olivier Vernon, the deal, a lot of money. Do I think he's worth that kind of money? I don't know. He averages maybe 5 sacks a season. I think he had 7 last year. But it's a little high. Do you think he's better than J.J. Watt? Absolutely not. Do you think he deserves that money? No, but it's free agency. So when you go into free agency, you're going to have good players getting great money. Okay players getting good money. Teams are going to overpay for these guys, especially with, the new, salary cap going up. It's going to go up even more next year as well. So teams are spending the money. And the way it is, the teams have to spend the money. Otherwise, they get penalized, I think. I'm going to try to look into the compensatory picks as well. But, I'm going to keep going in with, the NFL news and free agency. I'll bring up some cuts that, still haven't signed, some big cuts. And then I'm going to kind of go into how this free agency is going to affect the draft. So, when I get back, we'll get into that on the Tom and Jerry Sports Show.
Do you have sports opinions? Or do you want to start your own sports debate? Then Overtime is right for you. Overtime is an app for sports lovers made by sports lovers. This is the best place to talk about sports. Overtime is available at the iTunes App Store. Be a part of something big and help us take the game to OT. Overtime. The game never ends.
Cyberstation USA is the future of radio. Get your business into the online future at the world's largest internet radio station. From banner placement on our homepage to any of our broadcaster stages, commercials on our video player, audio spots on any of our shows, or at the beginning of any of our on-demand broadcasts. Cyberstation USA offers competitive rates with a worldwide reach. A fully integrated one-stop shop social media broadcast podcast platform. For more information, please contact our sales department at cameo@cyberstationusa.com.
All Noise Radio. Powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. All Noise Radio is an internet radio station that's fully produced by graduates of the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. From modern rock to old school hip hop, country to classical, news, talk, sports, and more. It's the noise you can't ignore. Log on to allnoiseradio.com. Fire up the station. Find out more about your favorite jocks. Get the latest CSB news and more. Plus, you can take All Noise Radio with you on the go for free. Just download the Live 365 app to your iPhone, iPod Touch, or BlackBerry and search All Noise Radio. Check out tomorrow's broadcasters today at allnoiseradio.com. Powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Tom and Jerry Sports Show featuring Kevin Donlin live every Monday on Zeno Radio and re-airs every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern on Cyberstation USA and the Stitcher app. You can also tune in every Wednesday and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern on All Noise Radio and the Live 365 app.
Follow us on Instagram at Tom and Jerry Sports Show and join the conversation on Twitter at TNJ Sports or visit our website at tnjsports.weebly.com or call in to 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live.
Go and do it for me. Now watch me whip. Kill it. Now watch me nay-nay. Okay. Now watch me whip. Watch me nay-nay. Why me do it? Now watch me whip. Kill it. Watch me nay-nay. Okay. Now watch me whip. Watch me nay-nay.
And we are back. I was talking about NFL free agency before I left. But first, in this day and age, social media has become such a pivotal part of people's lives. Well, now there's an app called Overtime that brings sports and social media together. It allows you to post photos as well as video of all sports-related news and highlights. It gives you the access to debate all sports topics with other sports fanatics, as well as giving you a platform to break sports news yourself. Go to the iTunes App Store to download Overtime, an app for sports lovers made by sports lovers. And back to NFL free agency. Obviously, one of the biggest cuts that, everybody was expecting to happen happened 2 days ago, I believe it was, Saturday, maybe Friday, one of those. Johnny Manziel was officially cut by the Cleveland Browns. He cleared waivers. He is now a free agent. I don't know if anybody's going to look at him because he got caught again partying, and then after he got cut, he was partying again. This kid's got to wake up. He has potential. He has the skill, but he's got to mature. And he's not doing that. He's getting worse and worse. He's getting into too much trouble, really. What are you doing? You're in the NFL. You are a starting quarterback for an NFL team. You could put the bottle down. And this goes for another one too. Martavis Bryant. You are already suspended for weed. What are you doing? Put it down. You are in the NFL. You are making millions and millions of money. Millions of dollars. What are you doing? Wake up. You're doing something that everybody, there's so many people that wish they could be in the NFL, wish that they could make that kind of money, wish that they could play football for a living. There's people out there, me included, that goes and pays to play in leagues. And you're getting paid millions of dollars to play football. Wake up. What are you doing? Martavis Bryant is now, he just dropped the appeal. He's failed multiple tests. He hasn't shown up for tests. He's got a 1-year suspension now, going along with Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon should be back, I think, this year. But again, what are you doing? Why do we have to talk about this? These guys have so much talent. Obviously, they're in the NFL. They have so much talent. Why are you throwing it away because you want to get high? Because you want to get drunk? Why? I mean, and then you go to Dak Prescott, a quarterback that's going to be drafted into the NFL. Probably looking at it, maybe a 3rd or 4th round pick. Gets a DUI. Gets arrested. What are you doing? Why are we talking about this? Why does it have to be to a point where you have to tell this guy not to do it, not to do this, not to do that? This is common sense, people. Common sense. Stop being an idiot. Go out and play football. You're football players. What's the point of throwing it away because you want to get drunk, you want to get high, you want to drive while you're drunk, drive while you're high? Why? Especially for players that aren't even in the NFL yet. Do you know how much money these players lose because they've gotten caught with something or have done something before the draft? Look at Randy Gregory. Randy Gregory has lost so much money because of having drug problems. This guy was a 1st round, maybe top 10 pick potential. And he doesn't go until the 2nd round because he got caught. He failed the test. And then failed the test again. He's suspended for the first 4 games. And that's what pisses me off even more because he's on my team. Great player. I just don't understand these players. I don't understand it. And it pisses me off. Johnny Manziel, I'm as messed up as it might sound, but I'm talking as a Cowboys fan here. I'm happy that, he's got what he's got going on because he'd end up being in a Cowboys uniform. And I don't think he's that good. I really don't think he's that good. I know people are going to, crucify me for that, but he's really not. I mean, what has he done? Yeah, he's played well in college. Great college player. But that kind of stuff you can't do in the NFL. I think we've noticed that. But, moving on, I mean, I don't even want to talk about this stuff anymore. I mean, it's ridiculous that we're even talking about it. But, other news, like I said, how this was going to affect the draft. Now, obviously, Kaepernick has been thrown around in trade talks to the Broncos, obviously, because the Broncos lost out on Brock Osweiler. This could change it, drastically. If the Browns end up getting, Colin Kaepernick through a trade, what do they do at number 2? They have plenty of things that they could do. And now, you had the Ohio State, Pro Day the other day. Joey Bosa, Cardell Jones, all those guys, Ezekiel Elliott, all in that one. There's speculation, obviously. Joey Bosa's brother, Nick Bosa, was seen at the Pro Day in all Titans gear. I guess you could say that's surprising because who's a Titans fan? No, but I'm joking. But so now they're speculating. Oh, well, maybe because then things came out that saying that Tennessee was interested in Joey Bosa. So now you say Joey Bosa goes number 1. All right, just say hypothetically Joey Bosa goes number 1. The Browns end up trading for Colin Kaepernick. They don't need a quarterback now. So now Joey Bosa goes number 1. Now the Browns could either trade their number 2 pick, probably for a lot of picks and maybe even a player. They can help their offensive line if they really wanted to, if they want to stay there, because Laramie Tunsil is the best offensive lineman there and arguably one of the best players in the draft. They could draft, defense. So anything can happen. So now that's going to throw off the regular, the rest of probably the top 10 picks, because now what are the Chargers going to do? Does Jalen Ramsey go in the first 3? Who knows? Now you got the Cowboys at number 4. Do they go for a running back in Ezekiel Elliott? Because a lot of people say that you shouldn't take a running back in the first round. But now you got a guy like a Mel Kiper or Todd McShay. I forget who said it. I think it was Todd McShay, possibly, saying that Ezekiel Elliott is an exception. He's an exception like Adrian Peterson. He's an exception like Todd Gurley. So now it's a question now. I don't know if you want to take Ezekiel Elliott that high at number 4. But I don't think he's going to last until the second round, to the 4th pick in the second round. So now what do? Do the Cowboys draft a quarterback? Does Carson Wentz drop to number 4? Do they take a quarterback? Do they take Jared Goff? Do they take Ezekiel Elliott? Do they take Jalen Ramsey? That's the question. Now this is why just one move, Colin Kaepernick getting traded to the Browns, can change the whole first round, the whole top 10. Because now everybody's at play, especially for the first 5 picks. You have Jalen Ramsey, Ezekiel Elliott, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Laramie Tunsil, Joey Bosa. Who goes? Who goes where? What's going to happen? And you know what is making the draft even more exciting, because I have no idea what's going to go on. And it's going to be fun to watch it. Especially, with obviously me being a Cowboys fan, I'm not going to see another top 5 pick for a while. So, there's all speculation. And, obviously the whole quarterback issue with the Jets, with Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I'm going to give a quick opinion on Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't think he deserves that kind of money, and I think the Jets are very smart in doing that. The Broncos don't want to pay him that kind of money either. He's not going to get that money anywhere. He's not going to get that money. He got his payday already with the Bills. He got his payday. And, teams are going to look at what he did after that payday. He wasn't as good as he was before that payday. And then you got to look at how the last game was against the Bills that knocked the Jets out of the playoffs. All they had to do was win. And he played absolutely horrendous in that game. So it's a question. And that's my opinion on Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think the Jets stick where they are. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick ends up back with the Jets. But, now they have RG3 coming in. I think that's another push for Ryan Fitzpatrick to take whatever they're offering him. I think they're offering him $7 million. Why not take that? This guy's talking about $18 million. There's nobody in the league that is going to pay him $18 million. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, with Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think the Jets are doing the right thing. They ended up getting Matt Forte as well. You could go to our Twitter page. We have most of the updated free agent moves. I was tweeting about it all, basically every day. So you could check that out. But we are through Selection Sunday, and we have our bracket set. We'll talk some tourney NCAA tournament when we get back on the Tom and Jerry Sports Show. The Tom and Jerry Sports Show, featuring Kevin Donlin, live every Monday on Zeno Radio and re-airs every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern on Cyberstation USA and the Stitcher app. You can also tune in every Wednesday and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern on All Noise Radio and the Live 365 app.
Follow us on Instagram at Tom and Jerry Sports Show, and join the conversation on Twitter at TNJ Sports, or visit our website at tnjsports.weebly.com, or call in to 605-562-7085. Press 5. To be
Cammy
heard
Entertainment
live.
Group and Cyberstation USA are now part of Stitcher, a free radio app for your smartphone. With Stitcher, you can listen to live programming as well as archived radio programming right on your phone. To obtain Stitcher, just go to the App Store for your particular phone. Go to search, then type in Stitcher. That's Stitcher, S-T-I-T-C-H-E-R. S-T-I-T-C-H-E-R. Then download. It's that simple. Stitcher, a free radio app for your smartphone. Convenient access to live and archived Cyberstation USA programming on your mobile phone. That's Stitcher, S-T-I-T-C-H-E-R. Cyberstation USA, always on the go.
All Noise Radio. Powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. All Noise Radio is an internet radio station that's fully produced by graduates of the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. From modern rock to old school hip hop, country to classical, news, talk, sports, and more. It's the noise you can't ignore. Log on to allnoiseradio.com. Fire up the station. Find out more about your favorite jocks. Get the latest CSB news and more. Plus, you can take All Noise Radio with you on the go for free. Just download the Live 365 app to your iPhone, iPod Touch, or BlackBerry and search All Noise Radio. Check out tomorrow's broadcasters today at allnoiseradio.com. Powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Do you have sports opinions? Or do you want to start your own sports debate? Then Overtime is right for you. Overtime is an app for sports lovers made by sports lovers. This is the best place to talk about sports. Overtime is available at the iTunes App Store. Be a part of something big and help us take the game to OT. Overtime. The game never ends.
And we are back. We're going to talk about some of the NCAA tournament here. We're back with Selection Sunday. It was yesterday, so we got our tournament set. Finally, that time of the year is back. But again, you're speaking with Jerry. We're taking calls 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live. Remember to join the conversation on Twitter at TNJ Sports or at our website, tnjsports.weebly.com. Tom and Jerry Sports Show now has its very own app. If you have an Android phone, be sure to download that through the Google Play Store. Be sure to download the new sports app, Overtime, at the iTunes App Store. The game never ends. But again, the Tom and Jerry Sports Show will be having our own March Madness bracket as well. You can find that on our Twitter page. We've tweeted it out. We also have sent it out through Instagram. You can check it out. The password for it is TNJ Sports, obviously, because it's all TNJ Sports. But going into this now, you had your few snubs, but I mean, there's not really a better. I think this is one of the best things in sports. I mean, one of the best, if not the best, event in sports. When you look at it, you got obviously the NFL playoffs is always fun to watch. NHL playoffs, I think, are the best playoffs to ever watch, really. But then you have the tournament. You have March Madness. There's something about March Madness. I mean, they're always great games. Always great games. I mean, there's always upsets that you have in the beginning of the season, in the beginning of the tournament. First round, second round are always good. There's games all day long. I mean, that's the best part of it. There's games all day long. You could watch games from like 12 o'clock on. And I believe they start on Tuesday, if I am going by it right, I believe. But when you're looking at it, the 18th, we have actually, the play-in games are the 15th and the 16th. So yeah, we have tomorrow starts the playing games. Tomorrow and Wednesday are the playing games. So you have the first two to kick off the bracket. You have Farley Deason, FGCU against each other. Farley Dickinson and Florida Gulf Coast. Vanderbilt and Wichita State. That's going to be a great game. I always love Florida Gulf Coast, the Dunk City, back in it. That's going to be a great game. Wichita State and Vanderbilt. I mean, the Wichita State Shockers started the season off ranked number 10 in the AP poll, and Vanderbilt was number 18 4 months ago, and it's actually crazy to see these two in a first 4 game. And they changed it because this used to be like technically round 1, but then it got kind of like confusing, because then you had like round 1 that you thought, but it's actually round 2, and then it just got confusing, so they changed it to the first 4. Then on Wednesday you got Michigan and Tulsa, and then you got Holy Cross and Southern University. Michigan and Tulsa are here because of a 3-point shot against Indiana to win their championship by Cameron Chapman, who hit 7 all season. Tulsa also lost to Memphis in the 13 recent days by 10 and 22. A lot of people, are obviously going to ask how this team got in and a team like Monmouth is not in there. Obviously, everybody's been hearing about Monmouth all year because of their bench and, the celebrating on the bench and everything like that. And they were playing well. I think they had maybe 7 losses compared to Tulsa's, I think, 13 losses or so. So, I mean, I could tell you right now, Tulsa ended up 20 and 11. And Monmouth, I think, had 6 losses or so on the season, 7 maybe. So it was a little head-scratcher. But that's what happens, and Monmouth could have got in if they won their championship. That's an automatic bid. You win your championship, you're in. And they didn't do that. So, you're looking at those 4 games. It's going to be great to start off the bracket with these games. Holy Cross from 0-9 on the road in league play to winning 4 road games to win the Patriot Tournament. Obviously are going to be one of those teams that are looked at as a Cinderella story. I don't think they're going to get past the first round because they will be playing either. Let's see, they're going to be playing, I think, North Carolina, I believe. Yeah. Oh no, they're actually going to be playing Oregon. Oregon's the number 1 seed. So I'm going to go by, each bracket. I'm going to start off with the South. You got Kansas against Austin Peay. Colorado, the number 8 seed, against UConn, number 9 seed. I could see UConn winning that game. I like UConn in that game, actually. Then 5, you got Maryland against 12, South Dakota State. A 12 team did not win all last year. California against Hawaii, 4-13. Then you got Arizona versus either Vanderbilt or Wichita State. That's going to be a great game no matter who they play. So Arizona better bring their A game no matter who they play. Number 3, Miami, against Buffalo. Number 7, Iowa against Temple. Number 2, Villanova against 15, UNC Asheville. I hate picking Villanova. They have screwed me almost in every bracket the last couple of years. Killed me. So you can bet your bottom dollar that I am not picking Villanova to get past. Probably, I mean, I could even see Iowa beating them, to be honest with you. I just don't like picking Villanova. They always kill you. They always do. Going to the East bracket, you got North Carolina against either Florida Gulf Coast or Farley Dickinson. That's gonna be a tough game for either Florida Gulf Coast or Farley Dickinson. I want to see Florida Gulf Coast win that game. Number 8 seed USC versus the number 9 Providence. I like Providence in that game. I really do. Indiana, number 5 against Chattanooga, 12. Kentucky against Stony Brook. Stony Brook got their first bid into the NCAA tournament in the school history. So that is cool to see, obviously, because obviously we're from Long Island, so to see Stony Brook in there is pretty awesome. I don't know if they're going to get past Kentucky. Stony Brook ended up winning their championship, by the way. But Notre Dame, number 6 against either Michigan or Tulsa. I think Michigan wins that game. So Michigan and Notre Dame, that's going to be a tough game for Notre Dame. Michigan's playing well right now. West Virginia against Stephen F. Austin, number 3 and number 14. Wisconsin, number 7 against Pittsburgh, number 10. Xavier, number 2 against Weber State. Then we're going to move on to the West bracket. Oregon against, obviously, Holy Cross or Southern University, as I said before. 8 St. Joseph's against 9 Cincinnati. Cincinnati ended up beating Villanova in the Big East Championship. I think it's the Big East Championship. Baylor against Yale, number 5 and 12. Duke against I don't even know who that is. Let me bring it up. The UNCW. So, UNC Wilmington. I think that is a lock for Duke. A lock for Duke. And Duke obviously lost early in their tournament, so they're a number 4 seed. Then you got Texas, 6 against UNI, 11 Texas A&M, number 3 seed against 14 Green Bay, 7 Oregon State versus VCU, number 10. Oklahoma got the number 2 seed against 15 CSU Bakersfield. Going on to the Midwest, you got Virginia, number 1, Hampton, 16, Texas Tech, 18-9, Butler, Purdue, 5, 12, Little Rock, Iowa State versus Iona, 4-13. That's going to be a good game for, that, especially keep an eye on that. I could see Iona winning that game. Seton Hall actually beat, that's who it was, ended up beating Villanova. Cincinnati lost to, who was it? UConn. That's what it was. UConn ended up with the 4 overtime. That was a great game. That was a great game. Seton Hall against Gonzaga, 6-11. Utah 3 against Fresno State, 14. Dayton 7, Syracuse 10. That's going to be a good game. Syracuse, I could see winning that game. Michigan State and Middle Tennessee. I like Michigan State to go to the championship, to be honest with you. I think, this year is so hard to pick. I'm going to come up with the stat when I get back from the break about, the number 1 seeds this year. And how many times it's changed and how many times there was losses by the number 1 seed. But I can see Michigan State and Kansas being in this championship. So definitely keep an eye on it. I mean, this starts March Madness. So giddy up. But I'm going to move on. There's a touchy subject, that's been going around the last couple of weeks. And I wanted to bring it up, especially after some comments that were made this past week. Legends Oscar Robertson and Goose Gossage have made their opinions known these last few weeks on their respected sports. I'm going to let my opinions be known next on the Tom Jerry Sports Show.
Do you have sports opinions? Or do you want to start your own sports debate? Then Overtime is right for you. Overtime is an app for sports lovers made by sports lovers. This is the best place to talk about sports. Overtime is available at the iTunes App Store. Be a part of something big and help us take the game to OT. Overtime. The game never ends.
Evolution of radio.
Cyberstation USA.
Our inventions change us. They make us think differently.
Something new added to the real world.
The leading edge of evolution.
That development has got to be delivered.
CyberstationUSA.com.
The most sophisticated that I've ever seen.
I'm not sure exactly what the future is, but I'm pretty sure it's not going away.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting founder Dick Robinson.
You know, the media business has changed a lot since we opened our doors in 1964. Now media content is everywhere, on air, online, on the go. More than ever, companies are looking for people to help drive this new media.
At Connecticut School of Broadcasting, you'll get hands-on training on the latest software and equipment in a matter of months, not years. Connecticut School of Broadcasting has placed thousands of grads in broadcast media careers.
It's all about versatility. You see, at a radio station, if you also know how to shoot, edit, and post videos, you become a pretty hot commodity. That's the training you get at Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting with locations up and down the East Coast from Massachusetts to Miami. Call 1-800-TV-RADIO or log on to GoCSB.com. Connecticut School of Broadcasting, the nation's oldest and largest group of broadcast media schools. Redefining training in radio, TV, and new media. Get trained. Get connected. 1-800-TV-RADIO.
Tom and Jerry Sports Show featuring Kevin Donlin live every Monday on Zeno Radio and re-airs every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern on Cyberstation USA and the Stitcher app. You can also tune in every Wednesday and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern on All Noise Radio and the Live 365 app.
Follow us on Instagram at Tom and Jerry Sports Show and join the conversation on Twitter at TNJ Sports or visit our website at tnjsports.weebly.com or call in to 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live.
Yeah, they screaming our name while we spraying champagne. Nothing nobody can say, cause today is that day. It's the day that I have always dreamed of forever. When you call me.
And we are back. As I said before I went into the break, there's been a lot of opinions being heard by some of the, old-timers in their respected sports. First, it was Oscar Robinson on he came on to Mike and Mike and started talking about Steph Curry and saying stuff like that Steph Curry would never be able to handle back in the day. And it kind of I have his comments that I'm going to play in a second, but now I'm trying to search when it was brought in, but now I think it came into the NBA in late 1970s, probably 79-80 season, the three-point line. Now, he was saying basically that he doesn't think that Steph Curry would be able to handle the hand checking and basically everything that happened back in the day with the NBA, and basically saying kind of basically saying that the NBA back in his day was better than the NBA it is now. Now, I'm not gonna dispute him on that. It probably was, but let me just I'm gonna play the clip of what he had to say about it on Mike and Mike.
When I played years ago, if you shot out that side and hit, the next time I'm going to be up on top of you. I'm going to maybe press you three-quarters, half-court defense, or three-quarters defense, but now they don't do that. That's why I said these coaches do not understand the game of basketball. As far as I'm concerned, if I got a guy who's great shooting the shot outside, hey, maybe you want to extend your defense out a little bit.
Now, and he obviously went on and started talking about the coaches as well and, how it's different. And then Isaiah Thomas actually even came on, I think, the next day on Mike and Mike. And basically he credited, Steph Curry for what he's doing and everything. But he's saying that this is the worst perimeter defense that we've seen in the NBA probably ever. And I don't dispute him on that either. But this guy, Steph Curry, can win at any level in any generation. You know, you can't just say, oh, you know, this guy's small. He's not going to be able to handle the hand checking. He probably won't be able to handle the hand checking, but you actually have to get up on him to get a hand on him. And I can tell you that right now, that's going to be hard to do. This guy has the best handles in the NBA probably since Allen Iverson. He's so quick to get his shot off as well. And this guy's range is ridiculous. He can hit it from half court at ease. And he's done it plenty of times. So, to me, yeah, you know, it might have changed a little bit because of the three-point line, especially, you know, during Oscar Robinson's time. Being that, you know, not having a three-point line, obviously you're going to want to take closer shots. Because what's the point of taking a long shot? But if you also look at it, yeah, Oscar Robinson averaged a triple-double his whole career. So when you look at it, though, when I look at it, what kind of competition did Oscar Robinson have? I mean, let's be serious now. These guys are more athletic. They're better. You know, when you want to talk about, you know, guys, you know, like Isaiah Thomas, yeah, who he played against? All right. Michael Jordan, Karl Malone, John Stockton. Guys like that. I mean, let's be serious. These guys are unbelievable. Shaq. You know, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Clyde Drexler. You know, guys like that, like, yeah, he had a lot of, and you know what, and there was probably some great players in Oscar Robinson's time, obviously, you know, Bill Russell, but other than that, I mean, these guys could sit under the net and under the basket, and no one was around. No one could guard these guys. Let's be serious; they're the biggest guys in that time. But I think it's scary for players that used to play because of how small Steph Curry is and what he's doing, you know, in this game. But I mean, the guy's amazing. There's no reason to even, you know, talk bad about Steph Curry. You can't dispute him not being great, because he is great. He is great. And his handles make him that great. This guy can create his own shot. I don't care who you put on him. I don't care how good the defender is. He's fast. His handles are ridiculous. And his shot is quick. The recipe to being a great player, especially a shooter. And the recipe to be a great player at the size that he is. But Oscar Robinson wasn't the only one that can't come out and talk about his sport being generation difference. Goose Gossage just came out recently. I forget which show he came out on, but he had some choice words to say about Bryce Harper. He had some choice words to say about Jose Batista. I'm going to bring up the first one with Bryce Harper. This is what Goose Gossage had to say.
Let it go to hell, because that's where it's headed. And you're going to let a young punk like Bryce Harper dictate this game? Are you serious? Do it as a professional. You can do whatever you don't have to style around the bases. You don't have to do all the frickin' antics because the camera's on you. That's the difference in the game today. No, I do not agree with him at all.
Well, what he was going on, you know, to basically refute what Bryce Harper had to say. Now, Bryce Harper had to say this in an interview. I don't remember who the interview was with, but this is what he had to say about the unwritten rules in baseball. Now, everybody knows what the unwritten rules are. If you don't know what the unwritten rules are, it's, you know, like if you get, you know, beaned, you know, you have to go after, you know, you usually, you know, retaliate and just stuff like that. You don't, There's a lot of them. You could look them up. They're probably on the internet. But this is what Bryce Harper had to say. Baseball's tired. It's a tired sport because you can't express yourself. You can't do what people in other sports do. I'm not saying baseball is, boring or anything like that, but it's the excitement of the young players who are coming into the game who have flair. If that's Matt Harvey or Jacob deGrom or Manny Machado or Jock Peterson or Andrew McCutchen or Yasiel Puig, there's so many guys in the game now who are so much fun. Jose Fernandez is a great example. Jose Fernandez will strike you out and stare you down into the dugout and pump his fist. And if you hit a homer and pimp it, he doesn't care because you got him. That's part of the game. It's not the old feeling. Hurrah. If you pimp a homer, I'm going to hit you right in the teeth. No. If a guy pimps a homer for a game-winning shot, sorry. He stops, looks around, the hell with it. He's all in. If a guy pumps his fist at me on the mound, I'm going to go, yeah, you got me. Good for you. Hopefully I get you next time. That's what makes the game fun. You want the kids to play the game, right? What are kids playing these days? Football, basketball. Look at those players. Steph Curry, LeBron James. It's exciting to see those players in sports. Cam. Now, obviously, this goes along with the Cam Newton comments during the Super Bowl. Now, now, my opinion on this. I don't care if you want to bat flip. I don't care if you want to celebrate on the mound. I don't care if you want to celebrate a touchdown. I don't care if you want to celebrate a sack. There's times for it, though. If you are down by, say, in football, if you're down a couple of touchdowns, you know you're going to lose the game. If you get a sack and you celebrate it, you're an idiot. If you get a touchdown and you celebrate it, you're an idiot. You get a first down and you celebrate it, you're an idiot. You're down in the score. Go back to the huddle. Go back to the dugout, whatever it is. If you're down a couple of runs, you hit a home run, you style it, you celebrate it, you're an idiot if you're down a bunch of runs. Now, if that home run is to give you the lead, walk off, tie the game up, celebrate it. The hell with it. Celebrate it. You deserve it. You strike out a guy with bases loaded with the tying run on second base or something like that, and you celebrate it, go right ahead. You're the one that struck him out. You deserve to celebrate that. That's what it is. Now, these guys, each position has their own way of celebrating, has their own reason for celebrating. If you're a baseball player, you're a position player, your form of celebrating is hitting an RBI double, hitting an RBI triple, hitting an RBI single, hitting, a home run, a walk-off home run. That's the way you celebrate. That's what you can celebrate. A pitcher, you strike out players. That's how you can celebrate. Football, a quarterback, you pass a touchdown, run in for a touchdown. You can celebrate that. Defensive end, you sack the guy. You can celebrate that. Big hit for a safety, big interception for a cornerback. You could celebrate that. Those deserve to be celebrated. Now, this is what Goose Gossage had to say about Jose Bautista.
Bautista's a disgrace to the game. He's embarrassing to all the Latin players that ever played before him. Throwing his bat and acting like a fool, like all those guys in Toronto. Yeah. Cespedes, same thing.
Now, I disagree with Goose Gossage. I love Goose Gossage. Obviously, he's a Yankee. I love him. But to say that these guys are idiots for doing what they do, it's ridiculous. Jose Bautista deserved to throw the bat wherever the hell he wanted to. He deserved that. He hit a bomb. And I think it was a walk-off. He deserves it. That pitcher gave up that home run. Gave up the game. If you're pissed off because he bat flipped, you're soft. You're soft. That should make you want to come out the next day. If you want to drill him, drill him. Who cares? That's the unwritten rule. Drill him. Strike him out. Do something. You gave up that home run. You cannot complain about what he's doing. He did his job. You didn't. He can celebrate doing his job. You can't because you didn't. If you would have struck him out, won the game for your team, celebrate however the hell you want. On it. Obviously, I'm the younger generation, 25 years old. Kevin is 27. He probably's got the same opinion about it as me. And when he comes back, we'll talk about it together. We'll probably use it as an overtime debate of the week. It's going to be talked about a lot because this is before the baseball season, so it's going to be talked about a lot. But it goes along with the Cam Newton. It goes along with the Oscar Robertson, Steph Curry. That's why I wanted to bring it up, and I'm going to talk about. We're going to talk about it a lot. But if you want, let us know your opinion on it at TNJ Sports on Twitter. You could let us know on Overtime. I'll post something on Instagram, Overtime, and Twitter as well. I want to hear your opinion on it. You just heard my opinion, and I feel strongly about that. You want a bat flip? Go right ahead. You hit a bomb, you hit a walk-off, whatever. Do it. Why not? They should be allowed to. Enough with these stupid, comments from older players. Give credit. Give credit where it's due. These young guys sit here and worship you guys. Show them the respect that they need. Show them the respect that they deserve. They're great players. Everyone that he brought up, everyone that Goose Gossage brought up, everyone that Oscar Robertson brought up, they're great players. But that will do it for my time here. The clock on the wall says that is all. And we'll be back next week with another Tom and Jerry Sports Show. I'm Jerry B. Breezy. Thanks for listening to another episode of The Tom and Jerry Show.